Hello again. I said last episode that I would show the bracket here for the 2007 World Cup. Just repeating what I said last video. Magnus defeated Song Yuan and then Najdic, Dominguez and Adams. And then, as we saw in the quarterfinal, he defeated Shakhriyar. But in the semi-final, he lost against the famous legend Kamsky in the semi-final. And Kamsky, of course, managed to win the World Cup after defeating Shakhriyar, another player that we have seen Magnus play against in this series. So Kamsky won. Kamsky won the World Cup. So now we are going back to look at the next game. This time we are back in Wijk in Holland. It's the 2008 version of the Wijk. If you follow this series, you know that Magnus won the B group last year in 2007, and so he can play the A group now, 2008. And it was a great tournament for Magnus Carlsen. He won the tournament, of course, at only 17 years old, which is it's probably one of the youngest players to win the Wijk tournament. Levon Aronian also got 8 out of 13. Like Magnus did. And I've chosen a game Magnus played against Shakhriyar Mamedyarov from Azerbaijan. He is born 1985 and he is a two-time junior world champion, and he has an aggressive and unorthodox playing style, making him a fan favorite because of his unorthodox style, and he has been top 10. He also crossed the 2800 ELO mark, an achievement not so many Grandmasters has managed to do. Magnus has of course played a lot of games against Mamedyarov now, but this must have been one of their first games. Mamedyarov's biggest success was that he managed to qualify for the 2018 candidates tournament in Berlin, and he placed at second place together with Karyakin, half a point behind Caruana, and Caruana of course because of that got to challenge Magnus in a World Championship match that we will cover in great detail later. So in this game, Mamedyarov, already 2760 player, is playing Carlsen. So Magnus is going up there, and after he won this Wijk tournament, and Magnus would win a lot more Wijk tournaments, and he will probably win a lot more. So I think he has maybe 9 or 10 wins already in one of the strongest tournaments of the year. So let's look at the game. At this time, it was quite popular that White wanted to avoid the Sveshnikov system, as we have seen Magnus play in a few games already, this system, which is very deeply analyzed. And so one way to try to avoid it is to play this move first. Now Black has the choice to play, basically he can play this move, but he can't get into that system because maybe White can play like that. So Magnus chooses this move, and this is also a move that he will play a lot in the later, because as people started to realize that Magnus is too well prepared in this Sveshnikov, people will start to play different kind of systems with bishop e5 and then take here. So we get Magnus gets these kind of structures in a lot of games later. But this time Mamedyarov goes for the closed Sicilian, a rare opening at the top level, but I believe it was the main weapon of old world champion Boris Spassky, who lost against Fischer in a famous match. And here it's interesting, Magnus play bishop g4 this, and just trade off that bishop. It's like the safer choice. The alternative is to play like this. This kind of a setup is considered another main line. Magnus doesn't play e6. He keeps play like more like traditional, maybe more traditional dragon style here. And that's interesting. c4. It's the White's plan is that it's just very hard for black to create any kind of play, and Magnus tries here with c4, but as you can see the computer is not very impressed. Maybe that helps. This helps White more, but the computer didn't like that White took it. Then it became like a normal Sicilian structure. Looks like the computer prefers to play something like this maybe, because now it's the regular trade here with White's d pawn for black c pawn. It's the regular Sicilian structure. They say, you know, knight of the rim is dumb, but and also this looks a bit dangerous because of the eventual fork here, but of course now it doesn't work because White's queen is being threatened, so it works tactical, but it looks a little bit strange anyway to play like that for black, I think. Okay, and here the computer doesn't like that black weakened his king side. Rook takes e6, but then this square is weak, but you can always trade off that knight, something like that. Because it's especially with like this black knight, black could be a little bit weak on the king side, and Mamedyarov is a typical player who would like to attack black's king in such a position. But Magnus plays quite cleverly here. He does queen a6 and knight e5 to try to get an endgame. And that's a quite nice. Black takes the isolated double pawns, but he of course gets the b file to play with for his rook, so the computer likes it. And here apparently White makes a big mistake. Yeah, it looks really strange that like White's best piece is this bishop, like it's kind of dominating in the middle, and White trades that one away. That looks like a big mistake. It's like the computer says, if you just move this one, it's no problem if black takes here, because you can always take here and get your own counterplay. So now Magnus is much better here, is winning here, because he got White's pieces are a bit out of place, especially this one is a big pawn now because it can't do much, and this bishop has targets. If it goes to e5 it can attack this one. Black has like a3 pushes, knight can jump in, So it's a positional strategic victory for Magnus once White did that horrible bishop trade here. And White had enough. Is again this big pawn here. Like even if White would defend it, then the black's rook is just coming in with devastating effect here, and this piece will get lost. Looks like this is White's best try. It's still pretty bad. Okay, so the computer doesn't want to allow White to move out the bishop, so it actually prefers to take the pawn the slow way, and then going here, I guess. But of course, looks like Mamedyarov had enough. So yeah, okay. So this was the first time that Magnus won the Wijk Zee tournament, and at only 17, and he would do that maybe 10 times more in this video series. So yes, see you next video.